So solar plexus, just above your navel, about an inch or so above your belly button. That's where the energy is, and obviously links through to that sort of mid-spine as well. So, and it governs the feelings of power, action. So anything you want to transform in your life. So you want to change something physically, mentally, change something in your life, then this is the center that this resonates with. So transformative energy, your action center. It's linked with your ego and your self-worth, and that can be on two levels. So it can be an overinflated ego, or actually a poor me, and I'm not worthy and I'm not good enough. So that's where we get the excessive energy or the deficient energy. So as I said earlier, the Sanskrit name is Manipur, and it is lovely to use the Sanskrit names often. It has a resonance in the way we say things. And solar plexus is linked with our fire. It's linked with the fire element. So that fire in your belly, you know, what fires you up, the metabolism, all that is related. The chant for solar plexus is Ram. R-A-M as it is spelt, but pronounced Ram. So you would chant Ram like we chant the Om. And the affirmation that is linked with this is I can. So we had I am with the root, I feel with the sacral, and it is I can with solar plexus. So the areas of the body this relates to, so you can get an idea from where the location is. So it's abdomen, in its stomach, it is linked with your liver and your gallbladder, your spleen. So the mid-spine, any issues that you have in that mid-spine or vertebra area there, and your pancreas in terms of the endocrine gland that is linked with, because all the chakras are linked with your endocrine glands, and that is often how we can tell when we're out of balance as well, on that physical connection. So the imbalances you would find if there is energy out of sync in this centre would be colon issues, intestinal issues, gastric ulcers perhaps. Diabetes can be very linked with an imbalance here, indigestion. So a lot of sort of digestive related things. Anorexia and bulimia. And that comes in with the link with the power over ourselves and possibly the self-worth. So there would definitely be sort of imbalances there if that's showing up in any way with people. Liver disease, hepatitis, so anything linked with any of the organs that are resonant there, then any of the issues that come out, it's that energy there. And adrenal fatigue is another thing that a lot of people are suffering from now. So bringing this energy back into balance can help alleviate that. So when this centre is in balance, how are you going to feel? You are going to feel centred. You're going to know who you are. You're going to have a healthy amount of self-worth. So that's not an overinflated ego or underinflated. You're happy in your own skin. There is a feeling of wholeness and worthiness of yourself. So, and I think we flip with that a lot of the time with things. Are we worthy of this? You know, what we charge, what we do for people. So it is a centre that can get hit quite often there. You're in touch with yourself. You're tolerant and perhaps more accepting of others, other people's points of view, other people's ways of doing things. So there's that sort of patience, acceptance, tolerance of letting the other half live as they wish. There's a peacefulness and a calm when this solar plexus is nice and balanced. So the poses, if you've not done the sequence today, but we did bridge, because you're working with the whole spine actually, but you're accessing that mid-spine. Twists are perfect for this. So whether it's a lying spinal twist or whether we do it in a seated spinal twist, which we did both of those. Trikonasana, definitely triangle pose, side angle where you're getting that stretch through the side of the body. That's a lovely pose for solar plexus. Any anything that is linked with warriors, torso toners, so plank, you know, holding in either arm plank or elbow plank. And yeah, as I said, twists, absolutely wonderful and perfect. Really good for the nervous system. And if you imagine, I always say this to everyone in class, a twist is like wringing out your body like a wet rag. So it is squeezing everything out, sending it to your lymph nodes, the lymphatic system's being wrung out. So good for immunity as well. So, you know, when we're getting cold in this time of year. So there's a few other notes that I wanted to mention. So when we're out of balance in sort of the emotional sense rather than the physical sense, we can be quite controlling, domineering and bossy. That's probably an excessive energy centre. We can aggressive in an overly aggressive sense. There's a sense of maybe having to have one over somebody else, you know, keeping up with the Joneses or having something better than somebody else. There's that kind of feeling and energy with an imbalance there. On the flip side, with deficient, there can be self-hatred, not liking yourself, not self-respecting yourself. So allowing yourself to suffer as a result of many other things. So bringing yourself back into balance, having that self-respect, that self-love, that self-care, self-nurture is a nice way to, by doing those things, you're balancing the energy. You can be a little bit narrow-minded or easily manipulated, with no self-responsibility when there's an imbalance there as well. So ways in which you can bring balance. So obviously just sort of been through a little bit of the yoga poses and sequences, but self-love, self-care. Anything where you are attending to yourself, you know, run a hot bath, light the candles, take some time for yourself, even if it's 5 or 10 minutes. Chill out. Don't be so serious. Have some fun. Have that ability to say no sometimes, and that will improve your self-esteem. You don't have to say yes all the time, or you can say, let me think about that. You know, give yourself that breathing space to evaluate, first and foremost, if you want to do something or not. There's no reason why you should have to say yes to everything. So saying no and clawing back your power, your self-worth, your control in the most, you know, sorry, that's the dog going, if you can hear that, in a nice way. Accepting other people's views, being respectful of other people's views is a nice way of encouraging balance there. Trying new things. When we don't try new things, we can become a little bit stagnant. There's no growth there. We're just doing the same thing over and over again. So that's always a way of sort of lighting that fire and motivation and change and transformation in the belly too. Cutting ties with toxic people, things, social media, you know. Maybe have some rules with social media. I know we can all get quite stuck and start scrolling, and half hour later we're still there. But maybe check at certain times of the day and then put the phone away for other times. A little bit of self-discipline there. And the other thing is sit in the sun when we do get some sun. Sit in the sun. It's so good. I mean, most people love to sit in the sun anyway, but to know that you're actually enhancing the energy within is a nice thing. So food that you might want to eat. A little bit obvious, anything yellow, so bananas, corn, pineapples, the spices, so turmeric, cumin, these are anti-inflammatory and sort of very healing in that respect. So wear yellow. Whether that's clothes or, you know, necklace, you know, I'll come to the gems in a minute. Light a candle, because it is the fire element, so have candles around you and know that that is resonant with this centre. So power walking, Another good exercise to do. It's firing up that energy in the belly. Sit-ups, crunches, anything that is bringing the body forward but has that sort of intensity and help for the core. So self-defense as well, that actually is a lovely way of bringing some balance into the solar plexus. So I'll go through some of the crystals. So we've got citrine. Now citrine, I've got a raw point here and sort of a polished larger stone. They come in all sizes. It's very rare to find big ones. I had to search for this. You'd find lots of little tumblestone ones. But citrine is lovely. I mentioned this yesterday. It's really good at diminishing our self-destructive tendencies within. It's a really good overall emotional kind of balancer, and really lifts your self-esteem. If you're feeling a little bit bleh, then this will help. Have it around you. Have it in your pocket for the day if you just feel like you need that little extra, I don't know, lift. So we have tiger's eye, beautiful stone, and this is, most people will know of a tiger's eye. You can get yellow tiger's eye, which this one is, or there's red, there's blue, there's all sorts of different colours, but most people would know it's sort of more of a yellow stone. This is a really good confidence builder. So if you're feeling like you're lacking a little bit of confidence, this one is what we want to do. It inspires you to be brave. So if you've got to try something new or venture into a new area, then this is a wonderful one to hold on to. Encourages sensible behaviour. Not that I'm saying anyone is daft, but it does encourage sensible behaviour. And this one's really good for the digestive system, so you know it goes along with the rest of the solar plexus. So what else do we have? Sunstone. It's this sort of a little bit more of a pinkier stone. I'll just pop it on my hand there. Obviously, sunstone, very joyful stone. You know, if you want to encourage a bit more joy in. If you've lost that sweetness in life, then maybe have one of these to hand. Just lifts the spirits. Helpful for removing hooks from people that we don't want really hooked into us. And it's a really good self-healing stone for the nervous system. So if you think sort of joyful and calming the nervous system, then that's good. And this stone helps with the seasonal affective disorder. So some people really get a bit down when the winter months come. So it's a really good assistance for antidepressant. It lifts low moods or negative moods, so that's a lovely one to have. Or to give people, you know, when someone is suffering, then that's a nice one. And then the other one I've got, which I don't find so much, this is called a yellow calcite. I've got two sort of stones here. And this stimulates your willpower, so it's a really good one for solar plexus. Enhances meditation and really assists with sort of relaxing as well. So these are lovely stones if you come across them. Sometimes people have stones in their jewellery and they don't even know what they are. They're drawn to them. We're often drawn to things. We may not really understand it, but it's that energy, that resonance, maybe we need it into our auric field. So yes, that's my little chat on the solar plexus. So if anybody has questions, just pop them in the group. I can kind of come back to them another time or bring it into tomorrow's chat. I'm going to put a little guide together on these stones because it is quite helpful. But thank you for joining, and keep up the good work. Send me pictures or anything else that you'd like to just share. I'm going to put some other pictures in there later on. So lovely for all of you to join me. So I will see you tomorrow. Bye.